You're inside the essence of the neo soul movement with Doug Ruffin right here on Mixed 1080 AM WUFO. And right about now, I am so pleased and so proud to have as my in-studio guest tonight a dynamic young man who I know is headed for big things. And I actually got joined by not one young man, but two. And I've known these gentlemen since they were in high school, and I've seen them, progress throughout their high school years and be active in the community and the church and in, City Hall, and also more so, I should say, in filmmaking. And I'm one of the young men by the name of Kameron Wood, a dynamic young filmmaker, someone I met when he was, I forgot how old he was when I met him. How old were you when I met you, Cameron?
About 14, 13. We began, working on small productions with one another, and then eventually we spiraled into doing independent work and benefiting one another, sharing different techniques and skills, to edify one another. So it's always been such a good friendship, a good bond throughout this time of, becoming the filmmaker which I am today.
Yeah, Cameron, what was the name of it? I'm joined by filmmaker Kameron Wood. He has a new film out, a student film called Wake Up, and I know he's been working on that for quite a while. But before we get to Wake Up, what was the first film you were working on? Wasn't that about the waterfront?
Yeah, the first documentary that I was able to really begin working in this field to do was entitled The Waterfront: Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. And basically the plot line was one man who been on the waterfront for about 5 to 6 decades, and the different changes that the waterfront embraced, and also he embraced as time went on. And so I've always worked with different social issues when I tapped into the conduit of filmmaking, so individuals can be exposed to different stories of change, stories of love, stories of awakening, so that they may embrace it, so they themselves, that specific viewer, can become a better person.
And while we're on the subject of awakening, let's get right to it. The film Wake Up. First of all, tell us what is Wake Up?
Well, I guess it means to make them aware as what's really going on in today's world, waking them up to the fact that we're living in this fantasy. Media gives such a manipulated representation of what's going on. So we're waking them up from a dream world, pulling them together from a nightmare. We see so many societal ills, but no one's doing anything. No one's reacting in the right way to say, we need change and we need it now. So the Wake Up, in my personal view, is really setting truth to an individual, that they may have a good Plymouth foundation to seek out reality to make better for themselves.
Okay, and I know I've participated and helped you out on the film. I remember I believe I did an interview once when you were at Performing Arts High School, and of course I helped you shoot. You called me at the last minute. I was on my way to bed, but I believed in this young brother.
That's the type of man Doug is. He got your back, my friend.
I believed in this young brother. I knew he was headed for big things, so I wanted to give him a hand, and I came out there. It was beginning to rain and sleet outside, but I was out. He simulated talk about the scene you simulated.
Yeah, well, the film has to do with one man who's in a community of disenfranchisement, and he goes through his own dream world of what's going on in his community. He voyages through his society, and he sees the folks who we see many times during our days. We pass them by if they're homeless, if they are left out due to any type of environmental issue. He goes through this, and finally he happens to go through his own self-realization, like many families go through in this here city, of crime, of murder. And I can't give away the entire story, but as Doug mentioned, we dealt with so much hell during my production to really show this is what the society's about right now. And the glory that we give it is not the correct glory needed to make us functional as a society. We dealt with the cold weather here in Buffalo. We dealt with, of course, the rain. But all through that, we were able to pull through and have a successful production. 3 a.m., 70-mile-per-hour winds just to get one scene. And I shot the film, it's on 16 millimeter. These days, everyone's using digital cameras, iPhones, and all the high-tech devices. But I went old school because I attend SUNY Purchase College. It's down in White Plains. and I'm in their film conservatory. It's 21 of us from all over, not just the United States, but we have someone from Canada. And we're learning not only the basics, but the advanced techniques of how to be a filmmaker, cultivating the art of a filmmaker. So I'm very proud to learn that craft and to share it with others, be a gift to others.
And talk about, you say you went old school, and I've had my experience of working with 16 millimeter and 8 millimeter film when I was in college as well. So talk about what that challenge was and the difference between shooting that and shooting in the digital format of today.
Well, 16 millimeter film, Kodak is a distributor of film, which is one of the #1s, and also Fuji. And 16 millimeter film, it's celluloid film, which you have to load into the camera, you have to crank up manually, and then you have to manually record it. So anytime you take a shot, that's the one shot that means something, and it's no going back and re-recording it. It's right there, right then, and that's all it takes. And it's very different from digital, but really makes you have a critical look on what you're doing to have it be very important to those who are going to watch it.
Okay, and now you've got some music from the film, but before I get to that, because we're gonna have to wrap up pretty soon, I want to bring your man in.
Yes, John Henry Grant. He was a part of the musical aspect of this film, which was a key element to have folks feel the heart and soul of this film. I wrote most of the music for the film, and then came together with folks who are musically inclined, like John Henry, a couple folks, Jazz Studies program at Purchase, and we have some dynamic music, which you will listen to later this evening. And so John Henry was a good help. We sat on the phone, that story, for about an hour, and says, what do we see? What is hurting us in our society? And I let him talk more about that.
Oh, we had a good time. We had the opportunity to get together with some local musicians actually down at the Purchase Institute, Filmmaking Institute, Conservatory rather. We made our way down there and we jammed out literally late at night. We felt like John Coltrane in the studio. And we literally sat there and just made the music, wrote the music, and performed it. And a good quality album was produced. And it'll be actually a soundtrack that's possibly will be made when the film premieres, and we're looking forward to that. But it was all inspiration from local artists in Buffalo and the great inspiration that we've got throughout our upbringing in the city that brought about the track.
All right, and just real quick, John Henry, what are you pursuing in college right now?
Oh, I'm in my senior year, coming up to my senior year at Liberty University, pursuing pastoral leadership. I'm looking forward to possibly going to law school, contemplating on that. And just looking forward to a good year, final run of this great school at Liberty University.
All right. An up-and-coming pastor, possible politician, maybe?
Looking into the political spectrum, looking to intern down at City Hall again this year, and just glad to be back home in Buffalo.
Upcoming pastor/politician, as well as a filmmaker. What a combination.
Hey, we can make a difference, and you can too.
Hey, that's what we want Buffalo youth to do. Come together and let's all work together.
The release date has not yet been set for the film. Tell us what you're in the process of doing with that.
Right now, please keep your ears and your eyes out for the Wake Up film. We're working with the Buffalo Niagara Film Commission and also a variety of organizations here in the city to premiere the film at several different venues. I am an alum at the Buffalo Academy for Visual and Performing Arts, so check out that. Just be aware if you have any students or children, please take everyone. This is a family film. You know, they're poisoning our children with drugs and doing different things. So this film is for everyone, just to simply wake up. So please be aware. Also, you'll be able to purchase the film, purchase the soundtrack. So just keep supporting your local filmmakers, musicians, artists, because there will be a time of change coming here in the city.
John Henry?
Hey, we thank Buffalo for all the love and support they've given us over the last few years that we've been in college and school and just busy, and we thank you for the opportunity, and just keep on supporting us, keep loving us, and we'll promise to keep doing what's right.